Hello.
Hi.
We are back for week 16,
Yes.
and then we're going to do 17 and then 18 after that. And we have a full slate of games. There's obviously no buys anymore. And tonight, the Saints play the Rams.
An important game that matters.
Yeah, 7-7 against 7-7.
Playoff implications all the way to the bank.
And we're not talking Seagrams and 7-Up either.
Has anybody ever? Is it 1975?
Yeah, you don't see that one ordered too much anymore.
No.
All right. Okay. Saints at the Rams. I have the Rams by 3.5.
I have the Rams by 5.5.
Get some stuff out of the way. It's 4. All right.
4.
Opened at 4.5 and it's 4. So it opened. It was right in between our guesses.
And then it dropped.
So I get that one barely. Both pretty solid guesses. So the Saints at the Rams. Yeah, I mean, both teams are 7-7 right now. The Rams would be the last team in, and the Saints would be the second team out. So obviously the Rams have the tiebreaker over the Saints, but this is huge because the Saints would get the tiebreaker over the Rams if they beat them. And obviously then they'd be 8-7 versus 7-8. So this is, I mean, I guess I would say it's do or die. I think it's more do or die for the Rams though, because the Saints, if they lose, they could still win their division.
Yes, they could with a losing record. That seems very, very possible.
Yeah, because the Bucks are 7-7 as
Bucks,
well.
yeah, I think the Bucks, the Falcons are 6-8 and the Saints are 7-7. Yeah, the Falcons are 6-8. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, but either way, I mean, this is huge. The team that wins this game, I think, makes the playoffs, barring a catastrophe.
Yeah.
Although the Rams have to play the 49ers still. So a lot of it's still strength of schedule and who you have left to play. But yeah, it's a
much better game than last week.
Yeah, we talk about these bad Thursday games sometimes. This one's
good.
Should be competitive. I mean,
yeah,
both bubble teams, and the spread's 4, so it should be a close game. All right. Let's go to, so we have 2 Saturday games, and this is the first one. Bengals at the Steelers. I have the Steelers by 1.
And I have them by 1.5.
Whoa. I think we're both very close on that.
Also very
close. Okay, so the Bengals, it opened Bengals 2, and it is still Bengals 2. Which I thought, for some reason, I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering. But okay, so the Bengals by 2, I get that one. Jamar Chase probably isn't going to play. Some places are saying he's out. Some places are saying he is questionable still. I guess I've seen weirder things where people get ruled out and then they mysteriously play. But originally they said he separated his shoulder. Anyway, he's got a shoulder injury, which it seems like he's probably not going to play. But with this being a huge game for playoff implications as well, you never know. So the Bengals are 8-6, and the Steelers, I think, are 7-7. So
yeah,
the Steelers need to win out, and the Bengals probably need to go 2-1. So right now, if it ended today, it would take 8-6 to get in. And there's 4 teams that are 8-6. So you got to figure 2 of those are going to go 2-1 and grab those last 2 wild card spots.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, cool that there are still a few divisions that are so up in the air in terms of like they could go to any team right now. Like the Cowboys and the Eagles, that's a division that's technically still up for grabs. The NFC South, way up for grabs. The AFC South, kind of all of a sudden, way up for grabs, and the Jags have sort of owned it, but they're right there with the Colts, same record.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. What was it? A month ago, the Jags basically had it.
Yeah, it seemed like that's right. Yeah.
They've lost. Have they lost 4?
3 of 4, I think.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, they've had.
Not good.
Kirk went down. Lawrence hurt his ankle a little bit. They played the Ravens. They played
the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, they played the Chiefs earlier in the year.
Oh, that's right.
Bears.
No, that's right. They did, but they've played good teams. They've
Right.
played good teams.
They
It
played
wasn't
the
just the Ravens.
they played the Bengals right when Browning
right.
was figuring it out. So, yeah. All right, let's move on. We got a lot of games and not a lot of time.
Truth.
The Bills against the Chargers on Saturday night. I have the Bills by 7.5.
This is where I started to be really dumb. They're way underbid this. I went Bills 5.5, giving 5.5. The spread is ginormous.
Yeah. It opened at 13.5 and it's down to 12. So we we were both way off on that.
Like,
I'm closer, but
I don't have a single spread in double digits this week. Not one.
Yeah, well, there's only one or two that are in double digits, I think, but
well, that's like normal. It's like there's like 8 that are in doubles, but I didn't even get this is I mean, this is just all the Chargers, right? I know the Bills won a game and they look good. They beat the Cowboys, but this is more about the Chargers, right?
Yeah, well, the Bills are playing really well the last few games, and I mean the Chargers gave up 63 points, and then they fired their coach. So obviously, they were saying he lost the locker room. Like guys just weren't ready to play, didn't care. It seemed like.
All fair.
So the Raiders scored 42 in the first half after not scoring a single point against the Vikings the week before. So something was wrong, and Staley got fired the next day. Although he said he deserved to still coach, which I don't know.
All coaches say that.
Yeah.
That's what Eberflus is still saying.
I mean, I guess obviously you're going to advocate for yourself, but yeah, he needed to go a long time ago. So with this game, I've said this 100 times and I'll say it again. The coach gets fired. Now there's going to be sort of a let's play spoiler, let's play for pride, let's play for someone new who's actually going to motivate us, sort of a thing. So, I mean, so the Chargers at home with their coach fired, kind of playing with a little fire in their belly or whatever. So you got that versus the Bills, who are playing, I don't know, about as well as any team in the NFL right now. They just beat the Cowboys 31-10, and they beat the Chiefs the week before. So I don't know. You know, it depends which side of that you're on. I think the Chargers will come out and keep it close.
Yeah, take the points on this one.
Right, but
at the Chargers.
Right, exactly.
It's in LA.
And that, I mean, that's just a lot for an NFL game. Like, if the Chargers come out and play decent right away and, like, I don't know, get the lead, I mean, you're looking at 3 touchdowns to cover that. It's just a lot.
It is, and the Bills have struggled this year. They've not played lights out the entire season. I mean, they're not even in the playoffs right now.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, I think the Chargers is definitely the right side there. As much as you can like a team that just gave up a 63 burger last week. So we'll see. Easton Stick, we determined, is a real person.
Not a yard implement, no, but is an actual functioning quarterback who's been in the league for like 7 years.
Yeah, he is a real quarterback, and he was quoted as saying, "I realize the NFL is not North Dakota State, but I'm used to winning, and so whatever." So he's like motivated, and he's doing everything he can to play well and see what happens. So he's never. I think he's only gotten like maybe 1 or 2 starts before this year. And you said he's been in the league.
I think he graduated in like 2017 or 2018. Yeah, he's been.
So for him, it's kind of the perfect opportunity because he gets 4 games to just see if he's serviceable. I mean, if he plays decent, you could. Like I said, there's a lot of injuries. There's a lot of teams that don't have a very good starting quarterback. I mean, who knows? I don't really think he's the caliber that's going to do that, but he gets his chance. I mean, a lot of guys never get their chance like that. And you saw what Drew Lock did against the Seahawks or against the Eagles.
What a pass!
And he gave, for some reason, I thought I remembered Drew Lock like as the guy who like didn't really practice hard and was just kind of talented and relied on that. I thought there was a story about that like 5 years ago.
Maybe he came, because I had to look this up too, because I thought he'd been in the league forever, but he's been in since 2019, I think. So he's not a rookie, but not played a ton.
And so when he gave his interview, like he gave a really good interview after that game. I was just surprised. I wasn't expecting that based on what I thought of him, based on, previous stories or what I remembered, but that interview was very solid. Yeah, anyway, I digress. Let's go on to the game of the week.
Oh my God, this one's such a good one.
Sunday, they're going to play this one at 3 a.m., so no one has to watch it.
Thank God.
I'm just kidding. We have the Commanders, the Washington Commanders at the Jets. I have the Jets by 3.
I have the Jets giving 2.
At one point it was 3, but I don't know if it's still 3. It opened at 3. It is still 3.
Stayed at 3. Got it exactly.
So, I mean, this was, I struggled a little bit right away, and then I'm like, these teams are both just like bad
turds.
Like the Jets have a good defense. Washington is okay. Jets have a good defense, but I think Simeon's starting this week, and Washington has a serviceable quarterback, but the rest of their team is just like really inconsistent and not very good. So I'm like, those things kind of just balance out. Let's just go 3. So that's how I landed on 3. Sam Howell got benched last week, but Rivera said it was more about just like not having him take meaningless hits when they're out of the playoffs, sort of a thing, rather than he played so bad he didn't deserve to play anymore. But it was interesting that Jacoby Brissett came in and I think threw a touchdown and then was driving again late in the game. So it's kind of like, I don't know, like maybe Jacoby Brissett is just as good as Howell. I mean, it was a very limited sample size, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on this game. I have no idea. Stay away from it, but
don't watch it.
And don't watch it. Yeah, and don't even check the score. Like, we're not even going to report how their records changed based on this game next week.
No.
Neither team's going to make the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers isn't coming back.
You should just cancel the game, honestly. Like, give people their money back.
Yeah.
Save everyone the trouble.
Yeah, I agree. Just put a C on all the apps
Just
next to it. It's just canceled. Strike through.
Yep. See you next year.
Okay, now we have another game that does have some
Yeah.
implications. We have the Lions at the Vikings, and I have the Lions by 1.5.
I have I have the Vikings giving 2.5.
Okay, so I think the Lions were favored by 3 at one point. Yeah, so it opened at 3 and it's 3. So Lions at the Vikings, Lions by 3. So I get that. So the Lions are 9-5, and the
No,
Vikings
they're
are
10-4.
Are they?
They are. They won last week.
Double check it real quick. Okay, I have that wrong. Incorrecto. That makes more sense. That's what I kind of had in my head. I thought they were 3 ahead of the Vikings.
Their
So
first 10-win season in 30+ years.
decent. Like since Barry Sanders or what?
Yeah, something like 92, I think.
How come all their really good players retire early?
Oh, because they're terrible.
Oh, they're like, I don't want to get hurt.
Since
I'm
the
done.
40s.
Yeah.
Terrible. The 1940s.
Yeah. Anyway, so the Lions basically have the division wrapped up. I mean, the Vikings play the Lions twice. Obviously,
So
this week is
weird.
the first one. So if the Vikings run the table and the Lions somehow, well, they would, okay, the Vikings run the table. Obviously, 2 of those losses would be for the Lions because they play each other twice. And then I don't know who else the Lions have to play, but it's not happening. The Lions are going to win the North, but the Vikings need to probably go 2-1.
I don't know. The Lions are playing the Cowboys. So it's Vikings, Cowboys, Vikings for the Lions.
Which would also mean the Vikings would have to beat the Packers at home.
Hey, maybe the
I
Bears
don't
beat the
know. I'm a
Packers.
Vikings fan. I know I know how this goes. So the Vikings are in right now, but I really think they're going to have to go 2-1. So the Vikings and Rams have the last 2 playoff spots right now. Seahawks and Saints are the next 2 teams kind of below the line. 2 of those 4, I think, are going to go 2-1. But we'll see. I mean, so the Saints play the Rams. I think they probably lose tonight. Who do the Seahawks play this week? You know?
They play the Titans.
Oh yeah, it's right here on my thing. Oh, yeah, so that's a good matchup for the Seahawks. I mean,
Mhm.
if you're playing a road game at this point, you really need to win. The Titans is one of a handful of teams you want to play. So yeah, I mean, I just think it's going to take 9 and 8. So the Vikings, I mean, not a must win, but if you win this, then you just have to go 1-1. But not an easy game either. I don't know. Like,
Packers feel like they're kind of on the ropes. I know they were surging, but they lost a game they really shouldn't have.
well, absolutely, they're 6 and 8. So like,
Yay!
by my estimation, they have to win out, and now they're. It's like the tale of 3 seasons for them. They were
Dude,
pretty bad the first like
bad, good, bad.
bad, and then they beat the Chargers before the Chargers were like
Yep.
really sliding.
Yep.
And then they beat the Chiefs, and then they beat then they beat the Lions on Thanksgiving, then they beat the Chiefs, and it's like Packers are one of the best teams in the league right now.
Not on a 2-game. No, so but the Packers, they go Panthers, Vikings, Bears. So they
Yeah.
could go 2-1. I mean, so that's 8.
I mean, they could
8 and 9. I don't think 8 and 9 makes the playoffs.
they could I mean, again, if you're looking at 3 games left and you need to win 3
Yeah,
games,
and
like
they go
those
3-0.
are
Yeah.
sort of what you're looking at. Although I think the Bears are going to finally get them just the way they're playing, but they also don't want to win a close game either.
No.
So we'll get to that in a
No.
little bit.
No, they like to lose a game where they have a big lead. Is what they prefer to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
I've
right.
done it 3 times this year.
So I don't know. I think the
Yeah.
Lions are going to win this game. I like it should be one of those spots where the Vikings are at home and they put everything into it and they play really well. It just seems like being a Vikings fan, that doesn't happen.
I mean, they're just the wrong. You guys lost your quarterback. It's like,
Yeah.
that was like kind of it. And this is a Lions team again that's vulnerable against the pass. And if you guys can't pass, it's gonna be difficult. But this is certainly a Lions team that can be got, right? Like they've been gotten recently.
Yeah, by your Bears. So Mullins, if Mullins doesn't throw interceptions to linemen who are laying on the field as he's falling down, they got a chance.
They've got
But-
a chance. That's right.
I don't know.
Just
Like-
stick to the fundamentals, Mullins.
I'm probably the only one saying this, but I think Dobbs should have kept playing. Like,
It's more exciting
So-
than Mullins.
so against the Bears, yeah, he threw 4 picks, right? But 2.5 of those were not his fault. So I think 2 of them were tipped balls. I'd have to look back. And then one of them was like a screen that was kind of blown up and he threw it like low towards the running back. And it was like a fluke, like hit off someone. And then the defender ended up catching the ball. So that one was kind of like most of the time it doesn't pop up and get caught, but yeah, he probably shouldn't have thrown it quite where he did. So you have that against the Bears defense, who's been shutting basically everyone
Very,
down.
very good for 3 quarters.
And then you have the next game was they had the bye. Who did they play when? Oh, the Raiders. Literally, the Vikings receivers dropped 6 or 7 passes, and then Mullins came in, and it was like, well, yeah, I mean, like Tom Brady's not going to do well when your team drops that many passes, or like Mahomes, you've seen doesn't win games either when his team sucks around him. So I don't know, like Mullins is a gunslinger. Well, do you want a gunslinger? You need sort of a game manager when Flores is doing what he's doing with the defense. I don't know. It just seems like Dobbs and Mullins are probably fairly equal. And I don't know. I just think that in the long run, I think Dobbs would make better decisions. But again, I'm probably the only person saying that. Anyway, that's too much talk about a 7-7 team. Let's get on to a couple of above 500 teams.
Oh, yes, this is a good one.
The Browns.
Oh, man.
I know. I'm gonna keep doing it as long as it
No.
irks you.
I know. And it's probably a good bit to have. But oh my God.
Okay, the Browns and the Texans. So this is a good game.
Is
Nice.
Stroud playing? Sorry, interrupt. Is
No worries.
Because he was out,
I
right?
Don't know,
He had a
but
concussion.
he was like borderline ready, not quite out of the protocol last week. So I have to believe he's playing.
Bunch of nonsense. The protocol, borderline ready.
Well, I don't know. They did 10 tests and he passed 9 of them. So now I think I'm pretty sure he's going to play, but I don't know that. for
Okay.
sure.
All right. No, it's all good. I've got the same as you.
We both have Texans by 3.
Yeah.
And it opened at 2.
Seahawks. Oh no, that's the
Whoa.
wrong one.
It opened at 2 and it jumped to Browns by 2.5. So that tells me he is not playing.
Browns by 2. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I like the Browns in this game all the way, even if it was playing. Maybe that's just because I'm a Bears fan, but
So look that up. I'm really surprised, but that has to mean that he's not playing. There's no reason that
hear
line would
anything.
jump 4.5 points for anything else. Yeah,
in the concussion protocol, will likely miss the game versus the Browns.
interesting. I didn't think. I mean, okay, so you've
It
got
sucks for them, man. But it's his rookie year, so I wonder they're probably just playing real careful.
yeah, but I don't know. So the Texans are 7-7. They would be out right now. They did beat the Titans last week. Or wait, are they 7-7? I feel like that doesn't sound right. I think when I did this, I don't know. Like, I think the information I got when I was putting these records up wasn't quite right. They got to be 8-6.
They are 8-6.
They're
That's
8-6.
right. Bills and Texans are both 8-6.
So it's not that I don't know how to type. It's that whatever I was relying on at the time.
Steelers are 7-7, right below the Browns.
Okay.
So it's Steelers and Broncos both 7-7, right below the Bills.
Okay. So you've got Bengals, Colts, Texans, Bills.
That's right, all right there.
All at 8-6. I
That's the
think
Jags too, though.
true.
Jags are 8-6, and the Colts and the Texans are those three have the same record. That who knows who's going to win that division? I don't know.
Right. So yeah, that's weird because usually you only get one team out of that division because it's so bad. But
I mean, I don't think they're going to get 3, but geez, it's right there.
so 2 of the 8-6 teams I think are going to get to 10-7, and I think it's going to take 10 wins to get in. So you're looking at 2-1 for Bengals, Colts, Texans, Bills. So Browns are favored by 2.5. Case Keenum I think is starting. I don't know what you do with a backup quarterback against the backup quarterback there. Yeah, so
Dude.
no strong opinion on that one. Okay, let's go on here. We got the Packers at the Panthers. I have the Packers by 5.5.
I have the Packers by 4.
I think you get that one. It opened at 4. Oh, it went up to 5. Well, that's you were right on. And the way we do this is it's when we do the podcast, and so I get that one.
Yeah, not the initial.
So whatever. It's more than 3. It's less than 7. It's right in that little window. I don't know. I was gonna say everyone and their brother is gonna like the Packers there because it's the Panthers. But did you know the Panthers won a game last week?
By throwing touchdowns, no less.
And they didn't even score 10 points. 9-7. They took care of the Falcons. Oh, the Falcons. When they need a win, they get it half the time. They're like the most Jekyll and Hyde team ever. They're just like, they'll beat a decent team and then they lose to a turd and repeat. I don't know. That's bad coaching, isn't it? Like their defense is very good. Well, their quarterback play hasn't been good either, but
their head coach is an offensive guy. He was hired. He's Arthur Smith.
He doesn't know how to
Ryan Tannehill.
He doesn't know how to teach offense. He's just a game manager.
I don't know. I mean, Justin Fields supposedly going to be playing in Atlanta next year, anyways.
Oh, really?
That's what all the talking heads in Chicago are saying because they all want to run him out of town because I guess Drake May or Caleb Williams are really good at playing NFL football.
And they know that already.
They do. I mean, it's a lock.
I don't know. I don't know if you're better off with Caleb Williams over Justin Fields, but I don't know that Justin Fields is the answer.
I know that he's never had a coaching staff that has done him any favors, and given his raw talent, it feels like that is what you need to decide and get him with a coach that matters before you make a decision like that. My perspective.
Yeah, well, you understand what's going on with the Bears better than I do because you follow them, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird situation.
Not good.
The head coach thought was sure to be fired. Then he takes over the defense and does well, but obviously he's not in tune with Fields because he's a defensive guy. And then the coordinators are resigning and getting fired, and I don't know. It's just a mess.
It's a disaster. It's a dumpster fire. It's not good. Not even the game we're talking about.
That's okay. We move around.
We do. We're flexible.
We get tangential.
Agile.
Very agile.
Mm.
All right, we're all not even halfway done. Let's
No.
go here. We
Go.
got the Seahawks are flying over to Tennessee. They're gonna take on the Titans. I have Seahawks by 1.5.
The Titans giving 2.
I don't remember what this one
Oh,
was. Seahawks 2.5, and it's 2.5. So
Mm.
I get that one.
Ugh,
So we've got 8 left. You got to run the table.
I do. It's not good.
So let's see. Seahawks. Was that Monday night or Sunday night?
This was Monday night.
Monday night. So the big question here is how hard are the Titans playing, not playing for anything? Because I think they're 5-9 or wait, 5-9.
The Titans?
Yeah, the Titans are like all but mathematically eliminated. So now they
Yeah,
just
5-9.
they just lost to Case Keenum leading the Texans.
Yeah.
So with Vrabel, he seems like a no nonsense guy. Like they're still going to be
Good
playing
coach.
hard.
Yeah.
But you always question that right after the life has kind of been taken out of the team. Like, do they play hard or not? So that's the big question here. I don't really know.
Seahawks won a big game and they're still fighting for their playoff lives. So
And now you kind of have a mini like quarterback controversy because Drew Lock beat the Eagles.
yeah.
You'd have to think if Geno's healthy, he still
There's that
plays.
question.
But
No question.
it's weird though, because he was active, but he didn't start. So obviously Drew Lock must have taken all the first team reps. So it's kind of one of those things like
They didn't want to risk it.
Geno's 80%. We don't want him to get hurt more. Hasn't been practicing. Who knows? But definitely check who's playing quarterback for the Seahawks. I don't know how that
Maybe don't bet it. Don't bet this game.
factors in. Kenneth Walker's on my fantasy team, and he's mysteriously questionable again midweek. I don't get that. Guys finish the game, they're fine, and then all of a sudden their shoulder is really hurting. It's like, wow. I mean, I guess I get it. They hit each other fairly hard, but I need him to play. I'm gonna be sad if he doesn't. All right, let's move on. I think we're halfway done. We got Colts at the Falcons. I have the Colts by 1.5.
Have the Falcons giving 3.
Okay. Colts were favored by 1 to start, and it jumped over to the Falcons by 1. Let's see, you get that one.
Yay! On the board.
There's still hope. All right. This is so I just got done saying how the Falcons are like you never know what you're gonna get from them. But
It's a Colts injury or something? Like this is a weird.
I don't know. I think it's just a spot where the Falcons really need it. They got a good defense. They're playing at home. It seems like a spot where the Colts won like 3 or 4 in a row or something.
Yes.
3-1.
They've been doing really well.
Like I don't know. To me, it seems like the Falcons absolutely need it.
The 3 of their last 4.
I think a lot of people are gonna just go with the Colts because they're playing better overall. And I think there's something there. I don't think that's the right side. I think the Falcons is the right side. I don't know.
Colts didn't seem to have any major injuries. This is a weird one. I feel like the Colts have. I don't know. I feel like the Colts are going to win this game. I think they're going to make the playoffs. The rest of their schedule. They got the Raiders, the Texans, the Falcons, the Raiders, and the Texans. So
Falcons, Raiders, Texans, and they probably need 2 out of those 3.
they probably need to go 2-1.
Yeah, I mean it's the playoff implications on a lot of these games are huge.
It's such a good week again. They've done a really good job with the schedule this year. A really good job.
Yeah, so Josh likes the Colts. I like the Falcons, and we are gonna move on to the next one.
Do it.
That's 1. You need 7 more.
I'm just happy with the 1.
I did have pretty solid guesses over.
You did. My guesses were not as solid.
A little bit more liquid and viscous.
Gauche more.
Okay, we got the Jags at
Yeah.
the Bucks. I have a pick 'em.
I have the Jags -3.
Jags -3. I think it's right in between there.
Is a pick, no, it's one.
Tampa by 1. Pick 'em. Tampa by 1 is the most
That's
consistent.
Tampa by 1.
Bucks -1. So I get that one. Yeah, I could see the Bucks being slightly favored. I could also see the Jags being favored slightly. So I just kind of said, okay, I go with pick 'em. It's close to that. I say this a lot, but this game happened a month ago. The Jags are favored by probably 5.
Yeah.
Things change,
Now that it's
obviously.
the division leading Buccaneers.
Oh, look out. And they stomped the Packers. Like the Packers got the lead early, but then the Bucks just like handled them. And from last week, the Packers were like -3 or -3.5. So it's basically like they were saying the teams were pretty equal, and that surprised me. But I still said I thought the Packers would take care of business at home. But that line was goofy low, and the Bucks smashed them. So just remember that for the future when I'm talking about this stuff. Okay. All right. I don't know. Like the Bucks are just playing better right now. I think
Game winning
that's
streak.
the right side maybe until the Jags get healthy and start playing better. But at the same time, it's like Baker Mayfield, like this team gives up 40 some weeks. I don't know.
It's a team that lost 5 of 6 at one point, because at the start of the season they were 3-1, and it was Bucks and Baker Mayfield, and then they lost 5 of 6, and it's like Bucks and Baker Mayfield, and now they've won 3 of 4, and it's like Bucks and Baker Mayfield. I don't know, man. It's a weird. This is a weird team, because some of those teams during that losing streak were not all that great. They lost to the Falcons. They lost to, I guess maybe not. They lost to the Lions, the Falcons, the Bills, the Texans, and the Niners in that stretch.
So both of these teams are leading their divisions,
Yeah.
but both teams with a loss could be on the outside looking in after
That's
this
right.
week, which is pretty weird.
It's crazy,
for both
especially for the
teams.
Jags, though, because the Jags they've won the wire to wire to this point, winning the division.
Right. So, I mean, who's going to play with more of a sense of urgency?
The Bucks here.
The Bucks either continue to roll or the Jags have a little, like I said, fire in the belly, and they need one now. They're finally desperate again. You decide. I don't really know. I think maybe the Jags actually just
like them here.
Feel like they need it more, want it more. I don't know, but
I mean they both need it. But I do like that Baker Mayfield swagger. Maybe
he's the answer. Maybe he'll be in.
Maybe he'll shotgun a beer in the sideline or something.
Yeah, and then he'll be on the Bears next year. QB swap.
Oh my god, dude!
All right, let's go on. And the show goes on. Cowboys at the Dolphins.
I have the Finns giving 6.5, which is way wrong.
Whoa.
Yeah. Miami by 1.5.
All right. I have Pick'em. Josh has Dolphins 6.5, and it is Dolphins 1.5. Opened at 1. Okay. I get that one. And okay, so the Cowboys got smoked by the Bills. They scored 10. This is just like standard Cowboys, right? Like they play against a good team on the road after some success, and then it's like they're a totally different team.
Totally different.
But I did call it. I said Bills is the pick of the week, and they absolutely smashed them.
Yep.
And it was kind of raining during the game, and it was just kind of like that Buffalo, like
weather.
You go to Buffalo, and you're just not winning. So Cowboys Dolphins, I like the Cowboys here to bounce back. I said this earlier in the year that the Dolphins haven't really beaten a good team or a like elite team or like one of the top 5 teams. I think that's still true. I think they still have to play the Bills again. Not that the Bills are a top 5 team, but I don't know. I think the Cowboys bounce back. I think their defense is very solid, and obviously you have to slow down Miami's offense if you're gonna beat them. I think, yeah, I just think it's a bounce back game for them. I think the Dolphins are gonna drop one here, but I don't know. If you're Mike McDaniel, you're saying, "Ooh, it's the McCarthy McDaniel Bowl." Mick. You're saying, remember the Titans if you're McDaniel, because they were up 14 on the Titans and they lost.
They
That's
really haven't beaten a good team. They really haven't.
Yeah,
They've lost to the best teams they've played.
frauds,
Chiefs,
bunch of frauds.
the Titans and the Jets, right? No, the Titans and the
gosh darn Jets.
no. They only have 4 losses. I can't find the 4th loss. But they've not beaten anybody.
Eagles. They lost to the Eagles.
They lost to the Eagles, the Titans, Chiefs. Oh, and the Bills. So Eagles, Titans is a weird one for them.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Maybe the Dolphins finally beat a good team, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
I
are
don't
the-
think so.
Cowboys a good team? Feels like there's a light switch with the Cowboys. It's either they're a good team or a bad team, and there's nothing you can do about it in
Yeah.
game.
That's tough when you're trying to win like 4 games in the playoffs.
Yeah.
When the light switch goes off in one of those
You
games.
just can't decide. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this feels like the Dolphins though. Although I do feel like the Cowboys are going to get kicked in the teeth.
Maybe. I mean, remember the Titans and can we beat a good team? Well, he's not going to be saying can we beat a good team, although he probably should.
I mean, these have been the most prolific scoring offenses in the league though today. The Dolphins and the Cowboys. They've both scored 40 points on the reg.
Yeah. All right. Basically a pick 'em.
Mhm.
Who do you think's going to win?
Whoever scores the most points.
That's true. That's a Sunday game. And just remember the Dolphins. It's really hot on the opponent's sideline.
That's right. It's sweltering.
That's worth a couple
That it
points.
is. It must be.
Okay, let's go. 5 left. We have a really good game. Cardinals at the Bears.
Oh, the Cardinals beat the Cowboys. They're
I
a
have-
fine team. It's a fine organization.
I got-
good things.
The Bears 3.5.
The Bears given 3.
I think we're pretty close. Did I miss it?
Yeah. 4.
4.5, and it came down to 4. I get that one. Both very close. So the Cardinals have been playing better with Murray.
Yeah.
The Bears have been playing very well the last 3-4 games. Excuse me. They had the Browns, let it slip away.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is fair. I mean, some people would probably say the Bears should be favored by more because it's the Cardinals, but the Kyler Murray Cardinals have been playing decent too. They beat the Steelers a couple weeks ago, and then they just had to play the Niners, which is a buzzsaw. And they kept it close, sort of. It ended up like 45-29 or something like that. But I don't know what you do here. It's more than 3. I think the Cards can keep it close with Murray against, you always say, Murray can scramble against a good pass rush and make some things happen.
Yeah.
They put up 29 against the Niners. I think maybe that's the right side, but don't have a strong opinion on it.
And the Bears, the coaching staff sucks, and they don't understand football well enough to win games consistently. So you just don't know.
The coaches suck. They really, really suck. Yeah.
They're not good.
Yeah.
They need to go.
Someone's
GM
got to
too.
go.
The GM too. They need to just get rid of everything.
Yeah.
Clean house.
Maybe the GM should play quarterback. The quarterback should play coach, and the coach should. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you can't. Like, do you get rid of Fields and the coaching staff and let the new guy pick?
Like I said, I would get. I mean, that's I think probably the prevailing theory, and that you just let the GM, because the current GM, hasn't picked his quarterback yet. He inherited Fields and blah blah blah. But why would you want that guy picking anything? Look who he picked for his coach. He loved this pick. It was his guy. I love him. My guy.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you and your guy can. There's the door. Take him with you.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I really think you have to somehow find the right GM. So you get rid of the GM, you get rid of the coach, and you find a GM. You let him find his coach, and then you let those two figure out if they like Fields or not, or if they want to draft a quarterback. You give that decision to them, because continuing to get rid of one at a time just doesn't work. And it's gonna be painful initially, but I think that's what you have to do.
This is their fourth or fifth coach in the last 10 years. I mean, it's like,
That usually means the team's been playing pretty well over those 10 years.
no, I mean, really, just a lot of fun for the fans is what it comes down to.
Okay,
Next game.
Patriots at the Broncos. I have the Broncos by 8.
I have the Broncos by 4.5. Really like what I saw out of Bailey Zapke. Zappy.
Schmappy, Mbappe, Kylian Mbappe. All right, it's in between our
Denver by 6.5, I think.
opened at 5.5. It went to 6.5. That's another one you would have gotten, but no.
Oh, so close.
So I get that one.
Yeah.
That opened at 5.5.
Creeped up.
Man, they are giving some credit to the Patriots on the road against a team that is in desperation mode.
Yeah.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but it just seems like the Patriots is the right side to me there. I don't know. It's less than a touchdown. If you're like the Broncos and you think they're gonna play well, like I can see that, but I don't know, just lower than I thought, and I think the Patriots is the right side there.
Yeah, take the Pats and the points.
The Pats and the points. Okay, 3 left. By the way, these last 3 are all Monday games. So
Monday's Christmas.
Christmas Day, 3 games on Christmas Day.
NBA what?
NBA. So is there no NBA then?
No, I think there's just the normal slate of NBA games.
Get out of here. We want the ratings. Okay. Speaking of the Raiders, they play the Chiefs. And I have the Chiefs by 13.5.
I have the Chiefs by 6. I'm getting 6 points.
We might have to get the calculator out on this one. It's pretty close in between there.
It's 10. It's not that close.
No, I mean like in between our guesses.
Oh, well, no, you still get it.
10.5 to 10.
Yeah.
But only by
half a point.
Yeah.
That's true. Numbers are weird.
Okay. So someone figure this one out for me. When the Chiefs played at the Raiders like 3 weeks ago, it was Chiefs by 9 or 9.5. It was. Why don't I see it?
That's not
the right week. It was further back. Time's going fast. Yeah, it was Chiefs by 9.
Yeah.
So now you got the Chiefs at home. So typically a 6-point swing from away to home, right? You give away the 3 and then you get the 3. So it's basically the same line.
Yep.
Chiefs at home. So, I mean, obviously that's why I went 13.5. I went higher. Why are the Raiders going to be more competitive in this game than they were before?
New coach.
He was there last time. Pretty sure.
Oh, new coach who's had a few weeks to get more experience.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think who cares? Who knows on this?
I think take the Chiefs.
You think so? Yeah. I was gonna say Raiders, but no, like the Chiefs
to win or just to
cover.
Just to cover. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. I think the Chiefs are gonna win this game. Raiders to cover seems. I mean, they just hung 63, so why not?
So I don't like the Chiefs. They played the Patriots. They won by, I don't know, 10. I think it was. Yeah. So they beat a bad team by a decent amount. I think I said last week it's like
10.
This is the point where they really have to decide if they're actually legitimate contenders this year because they've been playing really bad. So I don't know. Do the Chiefs blow them out here and just kind of continue to build momentum into the playoffs, or do the Raiders keep it close? I think the Raiders maybe keep it under 10, but no strong opinion there.
No, go Chiefs.
Let's go. Tommy DeVito's Giants playing against Jalen and the boys.
Got the Eagles given 5.5. It's also going to be very wrong.
Josh has Eagles 5.5. I have Eagles by 9.
And it is 12.
It went open at 10.5 and it went up to 12. Okay, I get that one.
Yeah.
This is a division game and the Eagles haven't been playing very well,
Mm-mm.
so. Again, I always try to offer two schools of thought, like. Yeah, the Giants will keep it close. It's a division game. The Eagles have not been playing very well. Like
Mm-mm.
this is just gonna be a close game. Or, okay, the Eagles finally stopped playing the best teams in the NFL every week. And Jalen Hurts doesn't have the flu, and they're just gonna smoke. Like DeVito looked worse. Who did they play? Who did the Giants play? They just got smoked by the
It's
Saints.
the Saints. Yeah, they only scored 6 points.
Yeah, 24-6. So those are the two sides. I don't know. Like, I don't know what you do with this. Double digit lines are tough.
Feels like the Eagles are going to win this game.
Yeah, they probably should. Although, yeah, I don't know. No more time spent on that.
Mm-mm.
I wish there was a little bit better game on Monday.
Mhm.
Those first two could be blowouts, although last time they had two games on Monday, it was, the Titans beat the Dolphins and the Giants beat the Packers.
Yeah.
So both games
Crazy.
were good. Never
Competitive.
know.
Yeah.
You never know in the National Football League.
No, that's why I watch.
All right, so let's go on to the very lastest game of
What a
the whole
game.
league.
Super Bowl preview, perhaps.
Yeah, these are the two best teams in the league.
Yeah.
One in each conference.
Yes.
We've got the Ravens against the Niners. And I have the Niners by 5.5.
I have the Niners by 6.5.
At one point, I was right on.
5.
Opened at 5, and it is 5.
No, I have 6.5, not 5.5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
I get this one
so
too.
Niners 5.
Oh, that's a brutal week.
So I okay, so the Ravens, let's see. The Ravens are 11-3, and they still have to play the Dolphins. So whatever. Both teams have tough games this week. Dolphins, Cowboys, Ravens, Niners. But there's a bye at stake. Like if you're the Dolphins or Ravens and you can win out, you're gonna get a bye, get the bye. So I don't like. I'm not saying I feel strongly one way or the other whether the Dolphins or Ravens are going to get the bye, but it's up for grabs.
It is in both conferences. Teams with identical records leading their conferences, playing with 3 weeks left in the season, and then the conferences are still competitive. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I like the Niners here. I feel like their strength of schedule has been a little bit more difficult than the Ravens. I think they're a little bit better sort of across the board. Obviously the Ravens are still really good as well, but it just seems like Baltimore going way over there to the West Coast. I think the Niners are gonna cover that. I think they're gonna win fairly easily, but it'll be interesting to see how the pass rush and how if Lamar Jackson can elude it.
Yeah. But just I think what a fascinating matchup if you think about when these teams met in the Super Bowls, what a juxtaposition of quarterbacking styles. When the Frisco was in the Super Bowl last time, it was Kaepernick, so mobile, big arm. Then you had Flacco for the Ravens, just big arm, but just a statue.
Oh
And now
yeah,
you've got Purdy on the Niners, kind of not very mobile, not as mobile, right? But he can throw the ball accurate. And then on the Ravens side, you've got just dynamic Lamar Jackson. Throw the
whoa,
ball, run the ball.
that is something I would not have thought of. That's pretty solid. That's
And then
interesting.
The defenses are both so good, right? And when they met last time, defense, it's just a fascinating change up in styles of play offensively for these teams. Should be a great game. Just should be a great game.
Yeah, Monday night, that'll be, I mean, easily the game of the week. You have,
No doubt.
so you got Cowboys, Dolphins should be good. Jags, Bucks is
Yep.
interesting. Colts, Falcons, playoff implications. Seahawks need to win at the Titans.
Bills, Chargers. I mean,
Packers need a win at the Panthers. So Seahawks and Packers both need wins at teams that are not very good.
Saints, Rams, Bengals, Steelers. There's like 5 or 6
Yeah.
games that are really good this week.
Browns, Texans.
Texans, yeah.
Lions, Vikings. I mean,
Even
definitely above average matchups compared to
Yeah.
other weeks. 16 games.
Week 16. Things are gonna get crazy. All right. Go Vikings!
Go Bears.